It's now time for another episode of the Off-Road Toolbox. A Jeepers guide to everything off-road. Powered by Best Price Trailers.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Off-Road Toolbox. I'm Jeff, and over here is...
I'm Bart. Hello, everybody.
And back there in the back.
I am Rob,
and
I'm ready to
roll.
I'm hiding. That's all I'm doing.
He's keeping us on track. He's trying to.
That's right. I'm hiding today. So, guys, what are we talking about today?
I think we're going to talk about rocks and stones and sticks, aren't we?
We're going to talk about fenders.
Oh, okay.
But let's go back. So I come up with the top, or we both come up with topics. So I'll write, then Jeff actually has got to proof me. So I write one. It's 18 pages. Again, I need Jeff to say, hey, Bart, we can do it in 4, which is a good point.
That's called Name This Tune.
So, folks, I have to say, this is just who I am. When I get into something, man, I study it, you know.
No, but that's how we gain our knowledge.
It's all right. When I was saying this earlier, I said that you can come up with more show prep. You'll never use all of it, but it's always better to have too much than too little.
But what's interesting, so when I'm teaching, it's nice to have that knowledge because we're going to talk about the importance of fenders and why do we have to have them. And what's unique about a Jeep is, like if you're looking at Rob's truck, folks can look in the back, you can see Rob's truck. His fenders are built in and his tires are inside the fenders. So it's really pretty good. Versus if you look at a Jeep, we have add-on fenders.
We have add-on fenders, or the tire hangs out an inch or two out.
Yep.
Which is not fun if you got a nice paint job.
Well, here's the other thing. So get back to my law enforcement days, is that fenders and bumpers are designed to keep people away from your tires.
Right.
So, and in some states, so we're going to talk about some modifications and some fenders. Know your state laws, because some states don't play. And troopers don't play. Mm-mm. So if you have to have your tires covered by your fenders or your bumper, make sure you know your laws and go with those, because there's a reason for it. It's supposedly is to deflect the person away from the tires. But in all my history,
how a plastic fender is going to do that.
In all my history of accident investigations, I haven't seen it work.
Bumper, yes.
No, they just get knocked down unless you go over. And I've actually gone over a hood. Guy tried running me down. I went over the hood. But that was because I was like, "Ooh, I got to get out of the way." I jumped over it.
Man.
So again, it's designed for certain things.
Did it hurt?
Oh yeah.
Did you cry?
Oh no, I was too mad. I was too mad.
He mad cried.
You mad cried?
Oh no, I can't say the guy came out the vent window, but yeah.
You were a cop at that time, right?
I was law enforcement.
Did you shoot him?
No. We fought.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was game on. Yeah, it was game on. He ended up. The other guys came and pinned the car. It was just one of those. He was actually suicidal.
Oh man.
So, but he didn't die. He didn't die. He may have had a trip to the hospital, but he didn't die.
Okay.
Because he just wanted to fight. There was no stopping him. And actually, some of his injuries were self-inflicted. He kept pounding his head, and people do those things. Yeah. But he did try to make me a hood ornament. So yeah. Interesting thing. Ended up later on. A good part of the story is he came back and apologized and got on medication, and ended up being
President of the United States.
A much more productive person, and actually it was pretty good.
That's good. No, it's good to hear.
And it was medication related, so a good thing. But yes, so the reasons why we have fenders and we have bumpers are for reasons. But like on a Jeep, again, it's unique because our tires stick out.
Yes, and we have how many parts to the fenders?
We have basic. It's inner and outer,
right?
Or the inner fender, and then your regular fender, and they can come in plastic or metal. I wouldn't suggest removing your inner fender liner, though. I wouldn't.
No,
there's people who do.
You can take and get it customized.
Yes,
but
it's there to protect a lot of the stuff that's in your engine compartment too.
I mean, all the hoses, the lines, the electronics, and all that.
Yes.
So,
and there's different ones. I mean, there's people who will drill them so they get more airflow, but then it depends on your environment. So, are you in mud? Are you in swamp? Are you in water? Are you in sand? Are you in an area where it doesn't really matter? You just need airflow. Yeah. That's the big thing, is getting airflow, but it does protect a lot of your components, your engine, everything. Like you said, the hoses, that
spark plugs, even
spark plugs. Yes, water from going up too far.
Yep.
So yes, those make a difference. But then when we get to the fenders, They're usually plastic, and they could be steel or aluminum. And you can get them in various widths.
Right.
Now, I kept my stock ones on because for me, the plastic ones, and there's plastic clips. If you don't know it, they're sacrificial.
Yes.
So when we're off-roading and we're coming to trees and branches and things, I would much rather have it pop those clips, and then you can buy Amazon. You can buy spare clips, or your Jeep dealer. You can buy spare clips and keep them. So when they pop and break off, because the fenders are designed to break away.
Yes,
the plastic ones.
The outer fenders are.
The outer fender, the plastic ones are designed to break away. So, or like a Jeep Beach.
Oh my God, the yellow Jeep.
So do not go flying through water and mud, because water doesn't compress. And I can't tell you how many fenders we have seen just get, the water just rips them right off.
Well, the one guy used it as an excuse to get new ones the next year.
He did. He really did.
He says, honey, it came off.
It came off.
I got to get new ones now.
We had pictures of that one. I should dig up those pictures and put those pictures up. So, again, they're for a lot of reasons, but they also protect the side of your vehicle. Right. So if you see a Jeep that's all muddied up down the side and everything else, look at their fenders. Do they have wide fenders?
Do they have them or do they not have them?
Yes.
Wide, narrow.
Yep.
All that stuff plays in part of keeping the look of your Jeep. I mean, everybody wants a certain look.
Yes.
Some will take and remove them and get the little 1 inch, 2 inch
yes.
metal fenders on the rear.
Yep.
And cut the fronts like
you'll
yours.
see.
Yep, mine's cut.
People cut their own plastic ones. Yes, they'll cut them back.
Mine was cut before they actually had the aftermarket availability back in. This must have been probably in the early 2000s.
Yep.
I think the previous owner.
1806.
Yeah, right. It feels like it sometimes driving it.
But when you cut them out, do you lose your side markers?
I did, but so you know what I did?
What?
To circumvent that is I put the motorcycle blinkers. I put those on top of the flat.
And a lot of people do that, and that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So because you're gonna, again, the side markers are for a reason, so people at nighttime on the side can see you coming, or see you, so they don't smack into you because they didn't see you.
Yep.
So that's a good thing. Metal, if you have metal on metal, and you strike a tree like one of our directors did out of Cracker Ranch, you could do damage. Mm-hmm. Versus the plastic, hopefully the plastic, I'd rather replace a plastic fender than a metal fender, and you should have less damage because the clips and everything are designed to break away.
Although Metal Cloak is really, really good.
Oh, they're good looking. I'm going to tell you, they're good, and it depends on where you're off-roading. So if you're off-roading in the desert, oh man, definitely yes. Yeah. If you're in scrub brush or tight trails or everything else, you might want to reconsider or get out and look. And if you can't make it, then don't drive through it. Again, I got nothing against the metal ones. No,
I think we had that problem when we were scouting out there.
Oh, I knew I could get through it, but it was tight. But again, I did. I popped the clip. I popped the clip off it. I had to replace the clip when I got home. That's how tight it was.
Yeah. But that's what it's made for. It's
made for, yes. And going slow and actually a good co-driver, okay, you're tight, you got to go here. Or we looked like, yeah, you're not going to make it.
At the same time,
you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. We're not going to squeeze this one out. We're not going to bend the tree out of the way.
But fenders are important. So, think it through before you start pulling them off and leaving them off.
And I'll get back to go to any of these Jeep events and look at all the fenders and speak to the people and see what you would like or don't like. Ask them, how does this working out? What would you do? What would you do again if you had to rebuy? And look at them all. Like I said, I'm still running stock ones. And for a while, I was looking at metal. I was looking at all kinds of stuff. And then at the end, I'm like, again, I'm out scouting trails. Mm-hmm. And there's a number of times, again, I got a course coming up in July that I've got to scout the trail. So if I'm lucky, one of my sons will come with me or the wife will come with me, or other times it's just me. So I got to double check the trails. I got to look at everything. I have to get out and measure so I don't wreck them. Yeah. And that's important. Or how many people wheel alone. You're driving alone. You're in with your group. So if you're not paying attention, you can't see your passenger side. Mm-hmm. You can damage your stuff.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
And we've seen it happen.
Yes.
Even being towed, we've seen it happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And now, if you have all these wide, the fenders and they're real wide and all that, does that prohibit you from saying if you're towing a trailer, a best price trailer?
It could.
Perhaps.
Yeah, we'd have to ask Robin about that, what he would suggest.
Okay.
But yeah, the wider you get, it could, if you're towing a Jeep on top of a trailer behind a truck and you got wide, we'll say like a dually, it's hard to see. That's why you have those extensions on the mirrors to get those mirrors out so you can see the trailer.
Right.
To get around that.
A best price trailer. We are powered by Best Price.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. They did us very well. Should you clean them?
Yes, please.
Why?
They build up dirt. They'll hold heat. They'll hold mud. They'll change the weight, adding weight. Same thing like your tires. If your tires are full of mud, your wheels, get all that mud off of there.
Without a doubt.
So, what's ever on your tires is going to be on your fenders. So when you get home, clean them out. If you can't clean them out sooner, usually got to pressure wash them all out.
What would you suggest for protective coating on them?
Wow, because the stock ones are a mess.
Yes.
The stock ones are hard to keep shiny, no matter what you use. So I've pretty much tried every add-on one that I can so
Paint
far.
'em.
There is a product that the dirt bikers use on theirs.
Yeah.
That sprays on and it stays on.
Okay.
They go out, get muddy and all that. They take the hose to it and it looks brand new.
Yes, but does it keep the chalking and fading down on them?
I don't think you're going to get away from that because just the way
the plastic. Yeah, and that's the only bad thing about those.
I have heard the one thing I did see, and it works, is if you take a flame, the heat will bring it back for a short time. But that's a short-time solution for all this stuff.
They use heat guns?
Yes.
I've seen peanut butter used because of the oil in peanut butter. I'm not making it up. There was a fad. Oh my!
Yeah,
there was a fad about 5 years, 6 years ago. Everybody's using peanut butter because of the oil from the peanut butter. Again, once it evaporates or the heat cooks it off, it's gone. So I've used Back to Black. I've used Mother's. I've used McGuire's.
Yeah,
I've used ceramic.
Yeah.
I've used, you've named it. I've used it.
It'll be all right until it
for like a week.
Again. Yeah.
Like a week.
Yeah.
And again, if I'm going someplace and it got to look good, I'll clean it all up, make it look good.
So I myself would go to aftermarket inner fenders.
Okay.
And bed line them, color match them to the vehicle or whatever color scheme you got going on.
Yes.
That's my take.
I almost bed lined those fenders and then the deal fell through. So but the deal was that I was going to get them, it was a company here in town was going to shoot it. And it just, and in some cases though, the mud sticks to it worse.
Yeah, but it's easy to clean.
Easier to clean. So,
I mean, you take a scrub brush to it, you ain't got to worry about scratching anything.
No.
I
might have to relook at that again. Is getting that done, but who knows? We'll keep looking at it. But the fenders are important, folks.
Very much so.
Whether you get metal, whether you get steel, aluminum, or plastic, whether you get aftermarket or keep your stock ones, maintain them. Keep them. They have a reason. And I wouldn't remove the inner liner at all.
If you do put an aftermarket in.
I would put something. I just wouldn't leave it open and exposed. No. I think you're asking for trouble.
And honestly, to change that stuff, it's a do-it-yourself. You don't have to go to somebody to have it done.
Yes.
It'll take you a little bit.
Yes.
Take your time with it.
Always need the right tool, too. All the tools have got to be.
It's basically socket wrench.
Yes.
They're not seized. You got to get the
PB blaster.
PB blaster, right? That doesn't really work. Well,
there's a couple of them.
There's a couple of them, yeah.
Yep.
Kroll oil. Let's see here. What else? Let's see. What's the difference between a flat and a flared fender?
Oh, well, actually, the flat fender which came on the original Jeeps back in the old Willys days, the 41s. They were flat all the way across, and then as the flared was mainly designed for aerodynamics.
Right, they
curved it out for aerodynamics. I don't think it's going to give us any better MPG, but it's aerodynamic. It looks better. It gives you a little more protection than the flat fender. But there's a lot of people who love that flat fender look, even on the aftermarket for your JKs and JLs.
Yeah, flat fender.
And the TJs. I mean, those flat ones. I mean, they're flat pretty much anyway. Right, but I mean, I know that you've got some of the brands. What are some of the brands that they? Smittybilt. Smittybilt was really popular a few years ago, and I think they still are. I mean, I imagine all that stuff.
All the people make fenders. Even
Poison Spider has their own.
What was it called? Rugged Ridge. Theirs bolt on. they make actually different fenders, but they actually make a bolt-on kit. So if you need to bolt on some.
A lot of the TJs, you have to cut the fender to put the other ones on.
Yes. The rugged ridge ones I got for Kaylee's Jeep, my stepdaughter's, hers just, I pulled off that little black trim and it bolted right into it.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So,
Cool. And that worked good.
Cool. Right.
So with that, what do we think?
I think it's time to find our tool of the day.
I think so.
Let's go for a search.
Hey, you see that idiot?
What the hell are you doing?
What are you doing?
What you think you're doing, you stupid idiot?
It's the Off-Road Toolbox Tool of the Day.
Are you some kind of moron?
Again, this one comes from SOS, Florida SOS again, and we'll post it up on the page. I know you can't see it, but
Actually, you could kind of give it to
Hefe.
Hefe. See if you can put it to that camera right next to you over there. Yeah, I mean, you kind of can. You can see what, yeah, sort of. All right, never mind.
All right.
Edit that out.
Yeah.
So
For those listening, don't worry about it.
Retention ponds or going over a dike. I have to watch how we say that term, but dikes are levees. So when you go over, you can get high-sided or you can get centered. And this is what the people do. So if you're going to go over one, go over what's called an oblique angle. So you're slightly offset. You're not going over. Both tires aren't crossing over at the same time. Because what's going to happen, especially in a long wheelbase vehicle, is you're going to get stuck. And you're going to. And if you're by yourself, you know how are you going to get out? Are you going to have to dig it out? In this case here, it was a levee area from a retention pond. Which should they have been there or not? I don't know. Or there could have been a worker that was working it and checking it and decided, I'm going to take a shortcut. So when you take these things, again, make sure you're going to be able to go over an oblique angle, and then go down. But otherwise, yes, you're going to be stuck on the top. And they eventually got out. They need a little bit of tug. And, yeah, have fun, be smart, but really know your vehicle.
Yeah. And like you said, get out and investigate.
Yes.
Before you go crazy.
Yes.
You never know what's on the other side of that hill.
And don't jump it. Don't jump it. Just go over nice and smooth.
Yeah. All right, guys, with that, we appreciate you checking in on us. Do go to bestpricetrailers.com and check out their trailers that they got.
And as well, you can check us out, as always. I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, obviously you know where to find us. Find us. If you are listening, we also have the video portion of this podcast, which is on YouTube. So search for Off-Road Toolbox.
Yes.
So we have, and if you're watching this, we have an audio version of this as well. So you can search those.
We got too many versions.
We got it. Well, and you can also hear us on Jeep Beach Radio.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So we're all over the place. Just look for Off-Road Toolbox.
Yes, we are. Guys, we appreciate you checking in on us, and we hope to see you next time. Be safe out there. Keep it on the ground.
And there you have it. Don't you feel smarter now? We'll drop more knowledge on you soon. Thanks for listening to the Off-Road Toolbox, powered by Best Price Trailers.